I want to go back into the period of status quo. So around this time, usually it's when players are able to start to get in contact with teams regarding free agency. We know usually by February 1, that's signing day. This time last year, there was an expansion draft. We know in the 2026 season, we have two new WNBA teams coming. So during this period of status quo, how do things like the expansion drafts work, free agency, the WNBA draft? Is it business as usual as well under the 2020 CBA? How does that all work?
So on the first point, um, in other labor contexts that aren't sports, status quo can be a bit more of a science, but it really is not a science. I mean, there are some rules of thumb, but there are some things that are gray, and I think in sports that becomes potentially kind of even more so. I don't want to speak for other unions. I don't work for those other unions, but it's not a science. We've heard the commissioner, Kathy, say that they aren't going to hold the expansion draft until the agreement is done. Of course, that's a verbal statement, but it's a bit unclear, right? I think as a staff internally, and again, I'm not naive. But we do have 8 hours left. And I think if we talk in 2 days, what I say today might be out of date, but we are considering all of the possibilities of what these next however long it takes to get this agreement done could look like in the absence of a work stoppage and in the absence of a contract. At this point, we're assessing all options and we'll make kind of recommendations to the player body as needed. But I also think there are practical concerns here. Part of why an expansion draft might not make sense before this agreement is inked is because some of those provisions might impact how that happens. And what we don't want to do is have to kind of go back and do things over again. And so I think that there's more to come in the conversations in the coming days after this agreement expires, which as of the taping of this conversation, obviously it's still in place. But I'm sure we'll be in touch and we'll keep the public also kind of apprised to how we are approaching this next period and what it is um, asking of the players and potentially the fans.